Not allowed. This is private property.
CBP agent tells U.S. citizen to show him his paperwork because of his accent. This one is doing numbers on TikTok already.
Why are you asking me for my paperwork?
Because of your accent.
You have an accent too.
I'm sorry, it's disgusting, but you can't. Like, really, bro? Says you. You said you have an accent. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You are literally doing a bodies and spaces in this moment. You know that you can have an accent and not be undocumented. What is wrong with you?
Where were you born, sir?
Where were you born at?
Put your hands behind your back.
Ramon Monero was detained by U.S. Border Patrol agents outside his home in a Minneapolis suburb after an agent questioned whether he was a citizen because of his accent.
I'm from this country.
You know what, sir? Now talking to you, hearing that you have an accent, I have reason to believe that you are not born of this country.
So you just raised an accent?
What country are you from?
He should have done an Uno reversal and been like, I'm putting you under arrest, motherfucker. You are an illegal. The other ICE agents, they go, wait a minute, he's right. That motherfucker does have an accent. They start fighting amongst themselves. They're like, and then the other guy is like, the other guy's name is like Juan Carlito as well. So then the third ICE agent's like, wait a minute, you have an accent. You have an accent too. And then the other guy starts beating on the other guy. And then the third guy realizes the third guy has an accent too. The fourth guy comes in and starts beating on the third guy. It's an endless cycle.
According to Monero, agents took a photo of him and searched a system that indicated he's been a U.S. citizen since 2019. They also checked his U.S. passport card, which he keeps in his wallet before letting him go. Monero, who was born in Mexico and obtained a U.S. passport in 2021, was detained in front of his 5-year-old daughter.
Well, she was shaking when I got in the home, and she's like, "Are you okay? That we're gonna take you? I don't want to lose you." And I'm like, "You're not gonna lose me." Even though I'm a citizen, still feel afraid because they don't care if you're a citizen or not. And especially because I know I have a really strong accent speaking English. I know I can be a target because that's who are they targeting just because our appearance and because of our accent.
CNN has contacted the Department of Homeland Security for comment on the incident and to ask if agents are allowed to temporarily detain people on the street with accents.
Why are you asking me for my paperwork?
It's nutty, man. It's out of control. It's out of control. If only there was someone who was calling this out in the month of August in 2024.
Crazy. And Donald Trump is talking about Eisenhower. He's talking about a word I can't say because it's a slur in the aftermath of the Bracero program, where we deported 1.3 million Mexicans from this country, including Mexican Americans, as a matter of fact. Not just people from, not people whose nation of origin is Mexico. We did that. We did that during World War I. We did that in the aftermath of World War II. And Donald Trump's touting that as a popular policy. And it's got like 60% approval right now. And a big part of the reason is because there's no counter messaging against that from the Democratic front. They have completely been captured by the right-wing framing on the matter. And obviously it's very racist, very fascist. I mean, it's just like straight Nazi Germany stuff. No one is thinking about like what 20 million, let's say there's 20 million migrants in this country that are undocumented. How exactly are you going to do the mass deportation? You're going to start going in the brown neighborhoods with BORTAC, with the American Gestapo, Special Weapons and Tactics for the Customs and Border Patrol, in what the ACLU calls Constitution-free zones, and you're going to start doing door-knocking operations and cast a dragnet over brown communities, and then put them in CCOT style, like in El Salvador, like mass detention centers, mass deportation facilities. You're going to put them in front of one judge, 200 at a time, because this 20.
I need you guys to remember, this was before the election, okay? This is in 2024, August of 2024. Called it down to the location, dude.
20 million people, that's a lot of people, right? You have to make this process as expedient as possible. So now you're putting 200 people at a time in front of a judge that is declaring them to be illegal. Then you have to put them in concentration camps. I mean, that's just straight Nazi Germany stuff. And I don't think anybody's talking about it on those terms, which I find to be abhorrent. I find it to be morally repugnant.
But to have agreement with like neither one of the parties is being reasonable here. It's just everyone's getting dragged over to a place that like, I mean, what is that? How is it that we've arrived there? Like that is not anyone's idea of America in principle.
I know. And Americans are actually not of one mind on this. Immigration historically is one issue where Americans are like consistently both very sympathetic to migrants on and also very Hitlerian in the same breath. Like these are, if you look at focus groups on immigration, you'll be shocked. Like a person will unironically say, I want mass deportations of all migrants living on U.S. soil. And in the next breath, we'll say something along the lines of, yeah, we should do amnesty actually for everyone that's been here. And it's like, how can you have these two opinions? That's because the Democratic Party is too scared. They refuse to actually have any sort of counter messaging on this front. And they just capitulate the right-wing framing every single time. They did this with the crime panic too. It's completely born out of hysteria. It's straight Hitlerian on the Republican side. And what's happening in America right now is not dissimilar to the rise of Hitler and Nazi Germany in the sense that like liberals also capitulated to in an effort not to adequately put up a strong fight and align with the communists and align with the trade unionists, align with the socialists against the rise of Nazis and the rise of fascism in Germany. They said, no, this guy's working within the confines of German politics. It's fine. And we all know what happened afterwards. It's called the ratchet effect. The Democrats regularly play the role of almost controlled opposition on a lot of issues, this one being one of them. It's the same with the bipartisan consensus on American foreign policy. This is basically, which I would consider to be fascist in general, but no one really cares about that. And this is fascism inward, like bringing fascism back domestically, having concentration camps for people that don't look like you, that people whose immigration status could be quickly and expediently dealt with and turned into documented U.S. citizens who are already participating in the American economy in incredibly meaningful ways. People who statistically are less likely to do crimes than natural-born U.S. citizens. A fact that Democrats should be saying every single day of the week. They should be putting that front and center. It's just completely made up. This hysteria about migrant crime is completely made up. Crime is down. Crime is down in America across the board. Okay. Crime is down. It readjusted back to like the lowest levels that it was at pre-pandemic. Right. And it's only going down further and further. So the idea that like,
here's my take from August 2024 on the Dan Le Batard show about the Dems' failure on immigration as they pivoted to the right, what that would look like after a potential Trump victory, and how the ratchet effect works. Because he's still trying to argue with people in the chat, in the replies. Hello, you can literally just type Kamala Harris in his YouTube channel and just find his opinion here. I don't think the accused should have to be the one prove anything if the accuser hasn't even done a modicum of good faith research. This is a video of him saying, I understand the harm reduction argument, but the politician has to earn your vote. Am I missing something? He cites Roe v. Wade overturned as Democrats aren't fixing women's rights. But that would only happen because Hillary didn't win. He's literally describing the Democrats' policy on immigration as the same as the Republicans and displaying a gigantic graphic that says the two-party system is fake. He says, in 2028, Dems will run on mass deportations. The whole video is exactly what my original post was. And he is, I thought maybe this guy was good faith. Okay, but right here, it's very clear that he's not good faith. He's just doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, what I was talking about there is the Democratic Party running on the Trump campaign's 2020 policies, because that's precisely what they were doing in 2024. That's what they were doing. And that is exactly what the problem is. No, that's a D stand. Whatever, dude. I will duke it out with these people until it like, I assume that there's just bad faith. Okay. But maybe they have fans that aren't bad faith and they've just been deluded into thinking that like I represent this like dangerous threat or whatever, and that I'm not making a serious attempt to try and educate people here. But what's best, here's the thing. These guys are bad faith, but they don't actually command a lot of influence over liberal Democrats in general. They are speaking to an increasingly smaller minority within the base of support amongst liberals.